إيمان وايلة أكسيدنت اتنرابة ناشة ليطي متبال سلطة شكلي. اتلا نسيانة بدنا كيسس ات انجري لو و بيالباية قريمخ. إن آتن ينكل بتت بيتا خزموخن يطانة اتلوخن بوقارة مخبرون المنيان التلفون 8 أربع شوا وچا 8 تري وچا 5 خا اشتا يعني توكن بيت injuryrights.com. شمي إلى توني كالاغراكس كي يمزمن لشان خلية يما.
Welcome to Assyrian National Council of Illinois. Where we provide home care services for the elderly 60 years and older. For over 20 years, ANCI has worked closely with the state of Illinois to strengthen and expand our home care program. We currently service the Chicagoland area, including Cook, Kane, and DuPage counties. If you are interested in finding out more about our home care services, please visit us at our Chicago or Streamwood office.
Our last panel, I want to thank Akkad Saadi so much for, he's been doing 2 days of 3 days dealing with all of our children, including my 2 little wild ones. So we appreciate you from that front. But this is talk about our future. So what is our future? So without further ado, Akkad Saadi.
Shalom alaikum. Ram shabri khada khiton. Basima. It's hard to top what Alvina Antar did, right? داخيتون إن بيتم مقرويتون خد شايت فيديو واتخا من ديانة بلكي قد خازيتون. I'll speak English just in case. Does anyone not speak Surat? Okay, so I'll go with English. Thank you. You helped me there. Okay, so my name is Akkad Saadi. Currently, I'm the KANU president, and we're going to talk about KANU a little bit in my presentation. But really, our focus for today would be Syriac language, the Assyrian language in the digital age. Our contribution as KANU and other contributions that are very essential for the future of our language and culture. So we're going to discuss a little bit about what the status of our language is. How do we preserve it, the means of preservation, language preservation, and KANU's effort into that field with some of the collaborations we've had, and some notable efforts and relationships we have with other organizations, individuals who have attempted and tried to preserve and promote the language using technology, multimedia, and other means. So the first question, do you guys believe that our language is endangered? Yes. Okay, so I think we all agree, we are all in agreement that our language, Surat language, the language we speak, the spoken language, is highly endangered. That's what you guys are telling me. But UNESCO says we're good and green, we're safe, so okay, let's wrap it up. UNESCO 2008 identified our language, the Surat and Surait, the Western dialect, which is what I speak, as severely endangered language. severely endangered language. They estimated about 500,000 speakers of Surat. Obviously, the number should be higher. I believe a little bit less than a million, maybe 700, 800,000 speakers. I could be wrong there, but according to UNESCO, it says 500 in 2008. And even worse, in the Surait, which is the dialect of Tor Abdin, what I speak, they estimated about 80,000, I would say 100,000 speakers, so it's way less. And there is another dialect of Ma'lula. You guys know where Ma'lula is? Syria, close to Damascus. There are 3 villages speaking Surat, or New Aramaic language, and it's called Syrian, or Syrianai. And that is actually about less than 20,000 speakers, I estimate. My estimation is 5,000, really. It's very rare that people speak that language. So is our language endangered? Absolutely. And there is an estimate from National Geographic Enduring Voices project says a language dies in this world. We have about 7,000 languages alive. A language dies every other week, sometimes every week. So a language dies in a very, very high pace. So really, which means we really have to do something major and drastic and urgent to get our Assyrian language to stay alive. So that is a call for action for everyone. So some of the influencing factors, I think we're living experience here. We're all lived and experienced external factors that were not in our hands. They're not something we could control, which is wars, demographic changes, oppression, many factors that are not really in our hands. We just face them living in Iran, Syria, Iraq, Turkey, Lebanon, all these places. Globalization is something that is, everyone has been facing with, dominating one language, dominating over others like English, Arabic, and other Chinese, dominating other minority languages. So there are many reasons why a language could be endangered. This is an important one. It's transmitting the language from the parents to the kids. That's something in control. That's in our control. Whoever can speak the language can try, at least attempt to, speak the language to their children, give the language this treasure that we have to our children. That's the least we can do, and it's in our hand. Which is, again, limited language use, whether it's us not speaking it or the resources around us, TVs, media, multimedia, books, anything that we have in our hand. If we don't have enough resources, enough usage of the language, that's another factor, major factor. Lack of motivation. And I think we agree that what makes us all learn English and speak English is not because we love the English, the Anglo-Saxon language. I don't think we relate to that language. It is more that, hey, we study in schools for that. We go to college to get a job and live and understand, this environment that we live in, whether here or anywhere in the world. So what motivates us to speak our language? What is the motivation? So I think I'll get your opinion. Maybe I'll get some suggestions from you. But what I would say, motivation, what motivates us is more emotional. It's about preserving our identity, our culture, our heritage, who we are, where we come from, our history. It's more that sense of appreciation and valuing our principles and what we are and what we came from, where we came from. I just mentioned, if we lose the language, we lose the cultural, our culture. If we lose the culture, we lose our language. Culture and language are intertwined, so they go along. If you lose the language, you can easily lose the culture identity, and vice versa. Losing the cultural identity, you won't be motivated to learn the language. So we have some of the factors that we know, we're sure, we know why it affected our language. Let's see what's language preservation. So obviously language preservation is protecting the language, preserving the language, promoting the language, using it in different means so it does not go extinct. So as you could see earlier, with that graph UNESCO provided, we were on the orange side. It was easy to go to the red side, to the black, which is the death of the language. And I don't think we want that. So the effort is crucial to maintain our values, community values, cultural heritage, traditions, culture, heritage, our language, oral traditions, what we speak, stories, the stories that we tell, the proverbs that our grandmas used to tell us, the name of the name of food, the name of dances, the singing, the lullabies, all of that is part of our oral traditions. And losing the language, we lose all that. Not only us, it's language and culture is not, we don't own it. It's really for humanity. So losing that humanity will lose a big part of history. Okay, so little video. I hope it will be clear enough. We'll see if. Okay. So just in short, UNESCO dedicated 2022 to 2032 the decade of indigenous languages, which means we can do a lot and work with UNESCO to try to preserve our language. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a little bit.
As humans, we use language to describe our existence, to express our hopes, our struggles, and our dreams. Over 7,000 languages are in use across our planet, and many of these are indigenous languages. But this rich diversity is increasingly at risk, and many indigenous languages are falling out of use. That is why the International Decade of Indigenous Languages is being launched. The decade is a global call to action. Everyone is invited to get active for languages. Together, we can make this a global priority, get legal recognition of indigenous languages, develop a favorable environment for indigenous languages, and empower indigenous peoples to use their languages and pass them on to future generations. The International Decade of Indigenous Languages will contribute to building a brighter, sustainable and multilingual future, leaving no one behind, no one outside by 2032.
So I think we can benefit from this, and we'll talk shortly about what we as KANU have been doing and what we could be also doing in the future, hopefully collaborating with UNESCO and other NGOs, other nonprofit organizations that could help us with that. So how do we preserve the language? Let's get to the important part. You know, we understand language is in danger. We just need to mean to preserve it. Number one is documentation and oral tradition. So documenting all those stories, grandma's tales, anything we could, the dialects, the variations of dialects. And there's actually a good project called endangeredlanguages.com. I'll play a small video, short video about it, where this platform allows you to upload text, images, videos from your grandma, grandpa, any resource of language that you could record. Oh, sorry.
Google is what? It's by which we pass on high ideas, knowledge, and identity from one generation to the next. But of the 7,000 languages currently spoken, it is expected that 50% will not survive the turn of the century. And when the last fluent speaker of a language dies, we lose the centuries of knowledge and traditions that have helped shape who we are. Language loss is often related to oppression and injustice. For these communities, preservation of their language is about the restoration of their cultural identities, their values, and their heritage. Google is working together with trusted organizations to help stop their disappearance. The Endangered Languages Project is an online space designed for speakers of endangered languages and those passionate about their preservation. It features the most comprehensive information, the option to upload video, audio, documents, and share your knowledge and experiences. And this is just the beginning. Start exploring at endangeredlanguages.com.
So this is really an important project, and I think such projects are so important into the preservation of the language. The third item I think is as important is language policies. It is like advocating, is the effort for advocating for teaching the language, our language, in anywhere, whether it's local community, whether it's your district, your region, your country, nationally, internationally, is the advocacy effort. And it's notable, and it's a great success story. And I'm mentioning this because we have someone with us here who's from our board, Vice President Ramina Shmuel, who's also co-sponsor of Awahe, or Awahe Suraya, which is an Assyrian parent group in District 290, right, in Chicago. And they actually advocated for years to accept the language, the Assyrian language, to be taught in the district. And finally, I think last year, right? Last year was approved for the first time ever in the history of the United States to approve the Assyrian language to be taught as an accredited course, language course in their schools. So thank you for your effort. And such effort is so essential for the preservation of our language. And along with that, once we do that, the next step is really creating the curriculums, the educational curriculum to teach the language. And we have also some work as KANU in that part, and we'll discuss it soon. Finally, what kind of effort? It's the last thing and the most experience we have as KANU is this part, which is digital resources, technology, and media. As you know, we live in a globalized world. Everything's connected through the internet. Everything's connected through technology, software, media, multimedia, social media. And without using these tools, we will never be able to survive. And this image here, this circle, shows you the languages that are spoken online. And you could see that only 10% of the world's languages are used online. And that is very dangerous for the 90% of the languages that are not online. And a good example to say how technology and using new tools is important to preserve the language is think about the cuneiform. The first writing system that was written to preserve the cuneiform, the writing of the Sumerian people. Later came the Akkadians wrote in the cuneiform. Many languages were not written. And when you don't write the language or you don't use the most modern system, you lose the language for sure. So this is a great example that we have to keep up with technology to be able to survive. And another important stat kind of stuck in my head is only 3%, actually 96% of the world's spoken languages, along with our language, so our Assyrian language is one part of this 96% of the world languages, are make up 3% of the world population, which means we are the 3% of the world population that speak 96% of the world's spoken languages, which is most of the languages that are spoken now are dying languages or struggling languages. That is so important. So our scenario here as Assyrian people is so common in this world. And we can all help each other to reach this goal. We're not in this alone. We're not only feeling, oh, it's only Assyrians, we're just our bad luck. We're becoming Assyrians. No, there's so many people. Most of the world is like that, actually. So now, technology. It's a keyword now in the recent, recent years and days. AI and machine learning. We know about ChatGPT and what kind of evolution it introduced to this world. It evolutionized the world, really. It's a revolution that is causing an evolution. So AI and machine learning and language preservation. Now we have this amazing tool, this genie that we have in this computer that we can use and leverage to preserve our language. And there are many efforts to do that, such as the Story Weaver. It's actually a new site, an amazing site that can translate 300 languages so far, all using machine learning and AI. We have this cool Woolaru, I think by Google. They're creating this where you could take a picture of anything. Let's say خلطة دخوة. So you take a picture of dikhwa, which is obviously doesn't exist anywhere in the world, other than us, I guess. You take a picture of it, and the AI would read the picture and recognize what's in the picture. Because a lot of things don't translate from language to language. Whatever or the pot that you put the dikhwa in, all the table the mace that you use, and all that is so unique in every culture. So taking a picture, the AI will recognize certain things, and you can use either, you will identify the object, let's say, okay, this is dikhwa. Or if it's not there, recognize it, you can enter it as a user, and it will be saved forever and ever. And that's an amazing tool that is available now. Lastly, DeepL is just an example of a translator. Google Translate is a famous one, right? A lot of people tell us like KANU, they tell us, okay, well, you guys talk about the language preservation, technology, multimedia. You don't even have, we don't have Assyrian in our Google Translate. And it is true, we don't have Assyrian language. We have so many dictionaries, as you know. We have over tens and tens of dictionaries in the world, but we don't have Google Translate. And the reason for that, this is a good workout. Reason for that is because it's using AI to recognize the text to be able to translate it for you. So how does AI do for Google translation or any kind of AI-based translation? So first, for Google to have Assyrian Google Translate, we have to have data. And data is text. So we have to have a lot of digital text online. So without having a lot of millions of resources, of text resources, there's not even, that's the first step. We will never have Google Translate in Assyrian without having enough digital resources. So the data collection is number one. Second is they use in AI and engines that create translation engines, neural machine, what is it, learning? Not learning, translation. So basically, this is how they use them. This is simulating the brain of a human using technology, using computers to translate the text that we see into something else. So last thing is training the model. So after you created this text and you created this engine, now you need to train the model, train the human being, just like how we train our babies to learn the language. repetition, million times. Say mama, habibi, say mama. Like million times until they say the first word mama. So how does the training the model happen? Training the model is, you have Assyrian text here. Okay, you have millions of the Assyrian documents, beautiful. Now we got the first step. Now the third step, which is training it. So how do we train it? Okay, you have the Assyrian text. Well, you have to have a translated text to some an international language like English, some Spanish, some really powerful language. So once you have Assyrian and you have the related Spanish or English or Arabic text, now the model can be trained to say, okay, Shlama is hello, Shana is welcome, blah, blah, blah. By repetition, millions of times, the AI engine will learn. Google will have the Assyrian translation or translator. Let me ask you, what do you think our most difficulty here? Why can't we have an Assyrian Google Translate? Yes?
Modern technology words.
Modern technology words? Yes, agree. So we have to have the words, the text, in a way that those engines can read it and can understand it, and then model it against the one-to-one translation so they can understand. So digital resources, we lack a lot of digital resources, which means by adding digital resources, media, text, books, all digital, we're a big step forward to get something like an Assyrian Google Translator. And obviously that's just an example, an easy example, right? We can use other tools like we saw earlier where it can create stories in Assyrian and different dialects of Assyrian. That's the second step, further step. So now we'll take one step back. It's Bet KANU, and we'll give you some introduction what Bet KANU is for people who don't know, and our contribution into this field.
Bet KANU is a non-profit organization with the goal of preserving and reviving the Syriac language by making it ready for the digital age. Using modern technology, it seeks to build a foundation to advance the endangered Sudan dialects, as well as empowering the youth by providing job opportunities for our talented youth in the homeland. UNESCO designated the spoken Syriac language as severely endangered language. A group of friends noticed that firsthand in the diaspora, where the majority of the new generation do not even speak it, let alone
This is the
read
group
or
of
write.
friends, by the way.
In addition, due to war, migration, and displacement, the language is being exponentially eradicated from its own roots. The rapid loss of the language in the diaspora motivated them to create a change. So, in 2017, Bet KANU was established. With a dedicated center in the homeland, a dozen of our local talented designers, animators, and developers, along with volunteers in the diaspora, create multimedia products and modern resources that the Syriac language desperately needs. In Bet KANU, we use modern technology to achieve our goals using 3 separate tracks: studio, software, and publishing. In studio, we create songs, tales, and animated cartoons to help children learn our language in a more easy and fun way. In software, we create various digital tools, such as mobile apps, games, and websites to innovate new ways to make the Syriac language ready for the digital age. In publishing, we produce books utilizing new educational methodologies and republish classics digitally and in print to make linguistic Syriac resources easily accessible online for all ages. Bet KANU stems from the ancient Akkadian language, which means the house of creation. Etymologically, Bet means house, and KANU refers to creation. Both words are found in the Syriac language as well. There are many ways to help us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. our cause. Or volunteer. Help us make Syria ready for the digital age.
Basime. 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 Like you saw that we had to build, or we decided to build, a team in the homeland to create all this digital materials that you see. And that was a big decision as an organization, because we believe that a language, if you take the language away from its homeland, from its earth, just like a plant, it might not be able to live somewhere else. And as you could see, the struggle here in diaspora, it's very hard to maintain a language naturally once we, leave our homeland. So it was important that we create the products from the homeland to make them as organic, as natural as possible. So that was a big decision, big risk that our team and our organization took, and we're very happy that we're able to do that. And I'll show you here a short clip of our team back in 2018. We're still struggling with electricity, power, with many other external factors, but we still survived. Even the video is corrupted. So that's a good example, I guess. Did not mean it that way. But yeah. So I'll go quickly over the 3 tracks that we kind of went over the video that we focus on and concentrate. First, we do the studio, where we built a studio, audio studio. We record all of our products, as you can see, videos, songs, cartoon, books, audio books, everything in the studio that we build in the homeland. We currently have 223 videos on YouTube. 203 videos on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for our team back home. They're seeing us live. And we have reached 17.5 million views on YouTube and over 11,000 subscribers. And I think those numbers are really, really high for what we used to. And this gives us so much motivation to move forward and build more, and we are. And as you can see our projection, we're just shooting up. Another important collaboration that KANU has done is the collaboration with Atra TV, and they're here. We want to tell them Taudi, Basime Raba for this great collaboration. They hosted us on, we have a channel, 24/7 channel on Atra TV platform, and they hosted us non-stop, all our KANU songs and videos, cartoons, products, everything in 2 dialects, which are Eastern Surat and Western Surat Torabti. So we have 2 dialects that we create. And we have currently about 1,300 monthly viewers. Those are unique viewers of our KANU TV channel, which is, I think it's great, because that means usually the TV is on TV. TV channels are on TV, not mobile. Those are, so we access over 1,300 homes, with our channel. Secondly is the software. So, as we explained earlier, software technology is so important to preserve our language. It's essential. And we try to build some software apps, some websites, tools that could help this aspect of language preservation. One of them is the KANU Guest app with the sponsorship of D-Orient, E2T, and CAPNI. And we got over 5,000 downloads of that app. Please download it, it's free. We have Radio Kifo, or KFO. It's part of the Syrian Orthodox Church, and we have over 5,000 downloads of that app. We have KNUth app. Unfortunately, was not kicked off, but it was a great system where it allowed us to. It's like a coining words system or search engine where you can coin a new etymology to the language. So hopefully one day this could see life. Fourth is KANU names. It's also available online, and just this week we released it on Android and iOS. You can download it. So if you want to search for an Assyrian name for your baby, that's for you. KANU names. Search engine is going to be. We're going to keep adding to it. It's dynamic, flexible. So hopefully we're going to keep cleaning the data and get more better names. KANU Reader, we're going to talk about it shortly, but this is a tool that we created, an app you can download, and it could read all of our publications. So if people who have a hard time reading Surah, this tool will help them read it in audio, text, and picture. Assyrian Karaoke, okay, we launched it this year as well. It was a collaboration between E2T, KANU, and AGM, Assyrian Youth Organization in Germany. And currently we have 20 visitors only, so we're hoping that you use it more as we get more videos on our channel. It's all free, available for everyone. As you can see, all things we do is things that we don't have. We never had an Assyrian karaoke, and this says we want to add more and more products to our environment. A little short video promo about Assyrian karaoke that we shot in Qamishli, Syria, with our beautiful team at KANU and KANUsoft, the technical team who built the website. Hopefully you will have fun with that. Publishing is the third track and the last track of our concentration, our focus. And it is, as we mentioned, this is the app I mentioned earlier, KANU Reader, where it can read all of our books, provided and accompanied with QR codes. So if you come visit our booth, you can see that all of our books have QR codes. So they're all digital audio books that can be readable by this app. Some of the publications, we'll go through them quickly. We have Nino and Me, Season 1, coloring book, all digitized. We work on kids' songs book, pen and paper and app, this is a 7-series curriculum we built for Orhoi, or Odessa School in Sweden. 7-book series that is adopted in that school. Built some conversation books, Torah Abdin stories. This is some of the storytelling where I was mentioning earlier about how we have to preserve our oral traditions. And this is actually by Shmuni Hana, who collected 4 stories, traditional stories, and we created a really fun book for kids, along with the audio of reading that book. قنية ورقة الخامة book 2. We have coloring book for our songs. And lastly, last but not least, is the comic book. We have few copies remaining in our booth, so if you're willing to get your copy, you have to do it pretty quick. So this actually, this book, we started it in 2016. It took so long creating the story, the characters. We went back to our Sumerian Akkadian mythology, and we tried to create demons and gods and goddesses to use those Assyrian creatures into our comic book and bringing them to life with audio, with music, background music, sound effects. So I hope you enjoy this really special book that we have. So totally we have got 10,000 books printed worldwide, and we have distributed in so many places. At least 2,000 books in Iraq that were given away for free for all kids. So part of the advocacy and social work is really us as a team going to different countries, different cities, talking just like here about what we do, why it's important what we do, and that we all need to collaborate together to reach our goal. And a little tour to Iraq, short 2022. Took my team from Syria, we took them to Iraq, and we did a tour for schools and churches, so hopefully you enjoy it. This tour was actually sponsored by CAPNI, and all the books were given away, all sponsored by the organization. And further collaboration like that with our organizations, our social organizations, cultural, it does just increase so much our hopes and our possibility to survive and thrive. And I think today, like we heard, there's so many developers, engineers, many talented people, organizations. We really need to get together to reach our goal. We cannot do this alone. We're trying to build in KANU like a bigger and bigger team, more powerful, more talented, experienced, but we need more collaborations with others. So we've done some notable ones with Beth Mardutho, which I will speak about because I think so essential in the preservation of our texts and manuscripts, and later can be used for AI. Karyohliso and KANU salt. So Beth Mardutho, I don't know if you guys know. You know about this site, Beth Mardutho? I think a couple know. Beth Mardutho is open source, open access to everyone. And I'll explain a little bit about what we do there, but we've actually built a Meltho lab team that is collaborating with Beth Mardutho, and I will explain a bit about what we do. We have 12 members back home in Iraq and Syria helping this organization clean up some important text and Syriac text from manuscripts, and I'll explain exactly what we do. So, Syntho is something Beth Mardutho has. And it's basically a database of Syriac text from Mara, from Narsai, Jacob Such, all of them. And the technology is using, they fragment text, so you can search by any fragment of text using new technologies and some techniques like, those are some people, only that people know. And they use no sketch engine to do that. And this is the important part here. They have already finished 6 million words. So there are 6 million words in Syntho, all digitized from actual printed documents or handwritten documents digitally into the computer and into the database. And 6 million words are actually cleaned up and verified, meaning they're not just random or inaccurate data. Whatever is on the document is actually entered accurately and high accuracy in the database and digitally. Now we're working with the team with Meltholab on finishing up to 13 million words. And this is this is digital words. This is in the computer. So I'll explain now how Meltholab is involved in these words that are entered into this database, Syntho database. So first, let's go back to Qaruya, not the rooster, the reader. So it's using OCR, which is basically, this is the engine they built to read the document. Let's say this is a document in Assyrian, okay? So it's written or handwritten hundreds of years or thousands of years. They have an app called Qaruya. They scan the document using Qaruya. Once you scan it will basically Qaruya recognize the words and try to figure out what they are digitally and insert the words into the database. So this is the one that actually reads the handwritten documents into the system, digital system. But you notice here, the accuracy is not high, 95 to 98, meaning shlama could be shlima, khilma could be khilma, khlima, like there could be some inaccuracies in the data. And that's obviously not good when you do it the first time. You want to do it right. You want to be as accurate as possible. Which means after we got 95% of the data, what do? Okay, we got the Meltholab team, A-team, come rescue us. The Power Rangers in Syria and Iraq. They're here to rescue us. So basically, they take these inaccurate words. So basically what we did, we created a tool that tries to find this inaccurate words, the ones that the system is not sure about. They don't know if this is shim or khet or het. There are some, inaccuracies there. So we circle those words and we send them to the team, and the team goes along visually, eye by eye. They try to go word by word to fix those inaccuracies and try. Obviously, they're all readers, strong readers, good readers, teachers, people who work in the language, in the language field. They're mostly linguists. So making sure that this 3%, 5% is covered, and we got 100% accuracy in the data. So it took us 1.5 year and a half to finish 6 million, and now we're working on the 13 million. It will take us 1 year to finish that. At the end, what's the end result for now? You have a dictionary, digital dictionary. It's called Sidra, to be able to read text, search in the database that we created, and find the words that you need. And also, not only that, but it could reference the document that the text was found in. So it could say this document is from Maraprem in this version of the document. So it's pretty accurate. So, and why is this important also? Because without this work, you really cannot have what? Google Translate, right? So without this work that we've been doing and a lot of other organizations and individuals are doing, it's very hard to reach our goal, which is being up to date with technology. Another one we're doing is KANU Hliso, is to a writer in Mardin who's proficient in the Syriac language. He released hundreds of documents and articles, and we're hosting it for him, Yosef Baktash. The interesting there is we're trying to get the data entered in a way that could be used in the future for our AI or any digital needs. So we actually have over 125 Syriac articles and other languages, which means we have Syriac and the equivalent what? English or Turkish, which is helpful in the future for AI. Another thing about KANUsoft, you've probably heard about KANUsoft, is the software technical team, software solution team that works with KANU to do most of the digital items like software, apps, websites. Some notable work they've done, KANUsoft team did, also back home, is they work on 2 UNICEF apps for the UNICEF, for kids. And they integrated, along with Arabic and Kurdish and English, they integrated Assyrian or Syriac in those apps, those 2. So these are official apps of the UNICEF, and they have the Assyrian language in them. We have worked with other organizations to create Grandma and the Fox, tens of thousands of downloads, Zalinville ABC, Zalinville Memory Game, Renio.org, Bible, the search engine, such an important engine we built for searching for the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, Portrait of Jesus, all in different languages. This is a snapshot of the search engine we built, and all digitized again. And you can see how you could choose between Eastern Syriac, Surith, Ma'luli Syriac, Western Syriac, and it will change the font, will change the text accordingly. And this is a great tool that can, again, be used for AI. Lastly, last 2. Syriac.io. This is a new website. It's a very interesting website, and I think you've been working with it, right? All right, great. Shimmo? Michael Morulamor. Yeah? Moru Lamor b'shimma, la. Okay. Michael has been working with Syriac.io also. This is the first AI engine for translation and speech recognition. So Syriac AI right now is the first one, powerful AI-powered translator. It can translate to classical Syriac, Surah, Eastern Surah, Surite, Western, and also you can type the word and it will speak it for you. Obviously there are challenges. Currently they have 50,000. They built the engine. There are actually 2 brothers, Marani brothers, Chris Marani and Gabriel Marani, who built this engine. They have 50,000 Surite sentences. So this is the one where I was saying you have Assyrian on one side and English or Arabic on the other side, so you can do the training. So they trained their model against 50,000 Surite sentences. The text-to-speech, they had to work so hard to get, just to say, write Shlomo and to say Shlama, or write Pshena to say Pshena in AI. They worked so hard. Why? Because they only use 5 hours of speech. Normally, you need 100 to 1,000 of hours of speech to do the voice recognition. So obviously, if you use it now, you will notice some not so perfect pronunciations here and there. How can we help them? Provide them with more audio, transcript audio, just like the KANU audios we've been doing. Other people who generate audio with text and syncing the text with the audio would help them greatly to improve the text-to-speech. But look at this start. We're already in AI. We're already in AI. And we're all coming together to help each other. Beth Mardutho, that we talked about earlier, worked with Syriac.io. We have Moru Lamor and other Shabu Talai. There are many individuals and organizations helping helping each other to get this platform to work and to have it, be used. Lastly, I think, if you're not bored, are you guys bored?
No.
You really? Okay, interesting. Okay, so lastly, we have with us Sergo and Benjamin. So Sergo and Benjamin and his brother worked together on, forgot the brother's name. Paul, sorry, Sergo. Paul and Sergo and Benjamin worked together for years to create multiple apps. I hope I captured most of them. Like the Assyrian app was very famous maybe 10 years ago, right? You had it. And it had over 20,000 downloads, Assyrian ABC over 1,000, Ishtar game 200. And the most important one, the most practical one now that is so often used, sergonsays.com. You guys know this site? Yeah. Look at that. Most people already use it. We have over 1,000 visitors per day for Sergon Says. And this is an incredible accomplishment. And it's Surat, which means the Swadaya, spoken Surat, so which is helpful for daily. This is not classical, where it's not so related in most cases. So this is Surat. And the interesting part here, it's also provided in Surait Ma'araboya, Western dialect. Maybe I didn't share this with you, Sargon, but I actually spoke with Syriac.io, the programmers, and they were so impressed about the site and said, we would absolutely need to coordinate and collaborate with each other to get some of the data to optimize and help their text-to-speech recognition and vice versa. And they would open the source for you so you can have you can benefit from their system for the text recognition. They can benefit from your data for improving the text. This is the collaboration we need. This is what we all have to come together to improve, the systems that we built for years and years. I lied. It was not the last one. Some of the data, I think it was worth to mention, like AkkadSaadi.com, which has 3 Bibles translated, and the Bible engine that we earlier saw was based on the data of those people who worked on my uncle and my dad and my uncles. And so it's not, I'm not promoting them, promoting their work. So basically, their data that they've entered is in something called for paratext. Paratext is a way, it's a text, TEI text engine. So basically everything you translate, it's saved as XML, which is could be used in technology, could be used in AI, could be used in any technical system. So this is such an important work they've done for tens of years. Now, lastly, is Suryoyo Talk, another AI-based app that is created using machine learning and voice recognition to recognize your voice. So you could say, what is hello in Assyrian? It would say, Shlama. So it will recognize your voice and try to translate the dialect into your language. Although it is right now, it's Surait, not Surat, meaning the Western dialect, but it's also great work. Hopefully at some point we get something like that in Surat, Eastern Surat. I will end here. I will say Tawdi, and if you have any questions, I'm willing to answer. Thank you so much.
What is Todi?
Tawdi is Basima.
Tawdi, not more Basima.
Ah, there you go. This is awesome.
أبدرا بسيمة كهمزة تشابرتا ومن ديت كد أنا بيوم بكرم بالي أهلكت رابع جاهي بتشارت كد أطروات خينية ليشان خيني أو ليشان همزمت ديان متنا احنا مطروخه و خبران نخراي كتفيرنا هذه مخوراتي هم زومن خمنا بدعات تاني مخالف وخينا بتاني مبتعبي ان داخي تماسا صباخلون پیشنا مبلغ و جوجتاوز پیشنا شتی و خاصه یوره من خمسه لیشان چطورن را بس بای اینا هایارت بوزده سنیکوی تهتین کد این خبرانه کد اقرا اصلای اتلون پیش سورب و ایدان لکد بوش حسنای وایلا ملبتد لیشانه شو مار بوش بشتا وایلا حسنای بتایلا من آسان شاند فارسی مبلغ خواه این خبران جره پیشی دخیه لیشان السبيا لازد بريشنا إن ليشان السبيا وليشان اللي كت بوش هسنا قانوناي اللي شتساي اللي بوش با شعب معلوبة و چار جورتت كت خامن خينا مزيدين متنا ال ليشان انقد لا هذا الكاماي إنا شتاوك ديشة كت ادم بمليستا بوش قونا رابع خبران النخراي ويرنا جاب و بوش تابلي شتابزود اللي كجو چولي بتفات اتن چول ذكريونا جو مدرسيات جو عمران إن سبب شتابا كديش اللي لنا بيا شغل فيل چطرا تام اللي كد ان خبران نخراي كد بمليس ويرنا جو دا تكست چولي مبروخينا ووارنا جو همزمته اذا لخينا پالات من همزمته برسوبه رابع اسكا وايله فخاطر جرال دام دي بالخخ ان مغبيتون انا خا ستت اشتاك كتابت رابي كروش بنيامن قد باش و مقريه جو چلو مدرسيات اترايت ايران چمسن كابيو دنو يونون کا توخون کا پیشی مبلغه كم مزيت كم ابصرت دني خلط اويتم بس
Hold the button on the side, see if it'll turn on. I don't know about technology.
It's been like 8 hours.
Yeah, I think I should die.
But you're
اتيخ بقارة
Okay.
اتيخ بقارة
I'll answer you, Rabbi.
رابع شنة جو جربية العراق لمقريبا لسان سورة هدية جو يونيفرسيتي مقرونة لسان سورة وهاي كلاس شورايا اتن مقوية لا متخر على القاين جو همزميات قبط اني يونيفرسيتي لسان سورة مقرونة جو العراق
دوس لا أما قوم أكيد أنا لا I didn't mention that our language is taught in northern Iraq in Garbiyat Iraq. There are a lot of things to mention. Even now, even curriculums are being written for northern of Syria. After the war happened, now they're building curriculums there as well. So sometimes certain things come our way. We just have to, grab that opportunity and use it. So, absolutely. But this is, I thought it was not a new news. I think a lot of people know that the new generation came and were graduated from schools in Iraq. And I think this is major. This is so important. And anywhere we live in, Syria, Iraq, Turkey, here, Australia, Germany, wherever we are, we have to work. We have to advocate for teaching our language in wherever we are. So, yeah, do it, Rabbi. جوابنا Rabbi. I'm just like tilting like that. So, اخنا جو بيت كانوا ماصن هم زمن بيت كانوا مو اودخ ادانا اخنا نترجم مختلا سيتا لشانا ولخنا بلكي طلع شوي قوما من سيتا لخنا سيتا لشانا بشقلي اني تكس او تكس يكتوتا وبترجمي لا بلعزة سورث مدن خايا وإتلن هدامة بترجمي أني زمرياتك توياثي لعزة مع رواية وإذا ند أودخ هدخا بلخ خرابة ميدالو أودخ جمعياتك كل شبثة قد جربخ جابخ أني خبراني وملد إينا تريسي لنا خلطة أو خويته بعربي أو كردت أو تركت أو بارسي أو موديلا يعني أدية بلاخر أني 15 هتخيلة استراتيجية هتخيلة إنه جربخ مصابخ ليشانا وأمرخ مندي لأمرخ هتخا مخدودت يعني أكيد لا ليوخ إما جو إما دوس كل دانا بس بجربخ ناطخ البرفكشن خيوم بسيمة بخلتها ها
قبل من كل بيابن تانيك ما اشتاهور بيوخ بياخونو أنا أودي بيوخن تبيقابن أنا بوزرق بابوخ وكمامولوخ كتن بي أمديه بلي خيفن جورحت بوليتيقاية ومامونوخ بي الخامن دني منتورز قدي شانا لبلي لالدني بد أركي مغزية لني مانuscripts كما غبن بعد الرابع تخمنتون قد أخذ خشابرتا تكنولوجي قد مبلوخوتون ماسيتون خايوما خا كريكولم باريتون قا اسكولاي قد يلبي ليشانا بداور خا أديا قديان رابع أنا جاني كمل بليشان ديان يونيفرسيتي سانوزي بخيلة جاموية وخمشاصر اسري جانات آتي يتوي تاما إن خا كريكولم أويا قد أويا مشوررتها بخا بكي بخا يونيفرسيتي يعني بخا مدرسة راي قد خا اسكولاي آتي كريكولم بكما يرخي بكي خا شيء تريشن أنا همودا من قمت من كل أزويز دياونا قدني يونيفرسيتيز بدي يبيلك أتوخن هي إلى خدر يزويز بتكانيتون وإن خاطر كريكولم أويا شو تابوياته هر جانو فيدريشن بدي يبالوخن خب بادجت قد ماسيتون كريكولم كريكولم رابا بسيطة أنا بزاين الكتابة بالوتيتون كتابة عادية أخش ستاركي ناقا يالوبه لنا بيا كتابة بتجري خانش رقاتي مالب لو كتابة وملبانا جوبيت اللي تنقد مالب لو كتابة جري أويا الخادنا دايناميك سيستم أويا تخمنتون الدعم دي كد مليزيتون همون تخمنتون بيان خزن مو فيدتون هالعادية أبو دعم دي
دوزوتا تخمن لن وإتلان يعني خدشة مصيطة بأو مندي وإتلان نسيانا ديا بأي أوت كوريكولم دودلان المدرسات السويد إتلان تريك كتاوي أدية it's adopted بأن المدرسات السويد بس هلا ديا يعني دروزوتا سنتة لكل مندي إذا نتشقلخ سنتة من شو تاسي مخد مرخ هدخا ماسخ بلخخ لأنه هدخا شولا سيقي للشنة وسيقي لرابا مصيطة قد ما تخل هدخا مندي من هدخا يعني من ديانة أخنا المدلن رابا صورينا يعني لخا كتاوة لخا مندي صورة بلكي كتاوة تريتلاش النخينة هدخا مندي سنق يعني ما منايت قرك سندت له وسمخت له قد ماصت أودت له وإن إطلق تخمنياتي دخ ماسخ الماطخ هدخا مندي أو بيشا يعني خلما ديا أو دخله يعني بسيمة أكيد ما صح همزم أخبار السمتة بس بسيمة وإتلن بسيمة ما صح همزم أخبار من chairperson language committee رامينا وأنا وآتن وآين وما صح همزم أخبار بسيمة يتلخوا يطامة ترى أمر تودي إلى تودي بسيمة توديثة بسيمة like thank you we say تودي in Marwaya we don't say بسيمة
أنا زمنت بطانة رابع شابرت presentation بمقارنة دي أهل قد عادي تخمن أنا إيمان خاب بخت قد بدوين بالخانة من صوت 8 مرشب دازن وصوت 5 اشتبار كاوتر بديران إن عبيلي على السورة ولت لي luxury قد أباهي أبي تجبري على السوري يعني من ديودا أني apps تلوخون رابط صدانا يعني أني من ديدال TV تلوخون يعني يوتيوب يعني أنا يا الستوري بداين drop off بعد يقال خدنا babysitting دوكتا لمده معنا maybe it's a stupid question يعني مجرد كم سيتون يعني أوديتونا خجورة قد implement اويا خدوكتا يعني خجورة خينا قيال سورة يا وخلا عمندي قد أمسيان يا سورة قد مددان شنرا بالسورة يعني خزيلون سبب أني أخت influenced وينا بيت English speaking رابيات قد إذا ميتاينا بيتها وين خاصات بلكي ترسات من أباهي تانا بدي ترسات همزو مسورة ولا سورة كخمي الليل باليا بيتها
يعني physical place
هي physical environment اطلقون يعني خجورة incorporate والدتون قد اوكي مثلا كم صخ يعني present ودخلون قد daycares maybe لهم بدنا
يا احنا رابع بقارة سبايلة stupid question لأنه أي سنيقوتة لا دوزوتا كل دوكتا بس خجاخيتا أي سنقتة لهم سيطة بوجودا سيطة زوزة سنت لهاد خامندي بس بأوضخ أنا مندي يعني أكد أزخ بأوضخ presentation خيال زوري أن طلع يوماني ودلان kids camp اللي سوري بعراق سوريا أوضخ رابة هاد خمندي يعني بس خادوك ثا consistent physical place أوضخ لدايما استقتل رابة يعني سنتا يا بس إن إطلق تخمنتا خجاخيتا ماني ماسي هيران بهاد خمندي اخنا اتلان we're production team so اوضخ مقروخ اني products الناشد مبلخيلهم ماغون فري الاودي مودي دبي لتلانهم سيطة ادية قد ازخ physically الدكاني كل دانو هادخا did I answer your question okay بس انت بخلطة ايت
مخلطة لمطيلي الشوات تمزم تخشدنك مطيلي بين بقولوا ما صيت نوريتم ببلش كتابة أنا كتيبا شوا بليس مسرحيات
واو
وقرب شوا قصة الكريه ما صيتون أن أوريتم ببلش يعني لا
رابي مدري شو
يوسف كانون
يوسف كانون يا بشينا رابي تلي قارة publishing ليه وقت publishing house بس بخشاهم publishing ما يعني أدية أو خاتت قد أودت publishing مخلول وأني دكانة لا جرك بارت رابا زوزة أودت استثمار invest رابا زوزة قد طوعت هاد خمندي بس أنا بتخمنتي إن ماسخ همزمخ بار بلكي أول مندي أني كونتنت أي ماتيريال بدلخ ماسخ شقلخلا أخنن وأوضخ خمندي خاتا سباي الليالي بلكي كرتون بلكي مسرختا تمثيلية يعني مو أمريتو acting maybe رابع من ديانة أخنا ماسخ أو دخلهم تكنولوجي ومالتي ميديا بوش زودة من طواعة ليلة سبيشل ديان طواعة دكتاوي بس ماسخ همزم مخرابي
يا خامدي خينا خكايالي بروني باتي مخبري لي بابا مو أي مرخ خامندي وأنا خكالية البالي من قرنخ وخرطة اتلخن أو بروجرام مروخن هالا اتلخن بروجرام ماسي جوب لأيا قد أني أمرلون المخبري قداني لاقي جنيلي
it's sargonsays.com sargonsays رابط سبايلة ويب سايت شما sargonsays.com
شمو
sargonsays يقول آمر أن ماسي كتوي من دبي وبترجماله من قالة إتقوب قالة رتمد ملتا
بس يمرام
بشينا
So أود بس مرة بقدر شغل بعد be honest with you أنا كماشن أنا كخازن شغل عندي وأخونه you are guys amazing actually برقتها بتاعي البادجت زويزة بدايتون أخنوخن عديلم داي شغلوخن exactly موديلي بتيم ديوغ إلى جو يوروب جو سوريا جو أمريكا so I'm sure أخنا قدر خلق لأيبا خم بيا خدنا animations أرزاق it's cost a lot of money so موجا بادجت بتاعي وأخنوخن سبرتوخن مودي لقد تعديا أنا مثلا يرسول خاتي كل كخازي و يوتيوب إنجليش باليابان كرتون خرطة قدية ملبلي قد أعطي أنيميشن ديوخن خازين بعد I know it's not تشيب رابا زويزة بخراجتهم سو أباجد ميكا بتايلا ومود سبرتا تلوخ نخنوخ من شو تاسي من ند أمتن قد كل بطلابة له أما برقتو إلى باجد لا يزويزة هيش من لازل قامعي سو أنكم صدق خجا
بسيمة رابقة همزمتخ ولوبابخ قالن currently من ديد أخنا أدية دخ بلخخ اتلن شولا من شوتاس بريشة مخد مرن كابني جو عراق اتلن من AGM بألمانيا SOS 2015 جو جيرماني اتلن شوتاس غينا نابي فراي فاونديشن بأمريكا أو ديلن سنتا كل شيتا أو دي سبونسر ترميات ديان كل شيتا وإيتد خدش برافد أو دخل من يوتيوب ومدوكان بريشة خدشينا يعني كما من لخا وكما من لخا هلا دي مصيلا ماطخ الخمندي جوجخ بشينا in safety but قا دودخ من ديانة بوجزو دا مخانة تخمنيات سوداني وانقاية أكيد سنيقة وخ سنتا بوجزو دا سبونسرشيب بوج جورا وأكيد قبلخ كل شو تاسد بالخ منا نساند لن اتلن إمكانيوتا جورتا دودخ كل من دي التكنولوجي اتلن programmers اتلن animators designers managers translators مود بايت قد أودخ أو شولا وكل أن هدام ديا إينا جو أطرا أب أوا من دي بد معاضر ومهير أني ناشي وقد بلخي و gain more experience الكارير دي يعني فأخنا بتيخي وخل شولا من أي شو تاسد ما ساند لنا أكيد وبس ما قا كلهم وبسيمة رابقة أي نافد قميا ولا أو أي فرصة قالا وخاور خايلة قد خازنا خون خازيتون لان وإنت لو خون بوقارة إتلان بوث لخ fourth where are we now?
Fourth floor. It's the second floor.
Oh, second floor قد خازيتون بوديان بيت كانو خلط كشخلي we had 4-hour CUT scan for 3 days we were tired so بسيمة رابا دكتور وبسيمة قالتنا
thank you so much a presentation ديوخنس نختار symposium I mean متخرج in all these new technologies كل ما يخون convention فريش يخرجون هم زميتون الخاب panel like دزوتا يرخم دي رابا جورقاتن قام تدين so رابا سيما Akkad thank you so much this concludes the education programs at convention my wife can't wait for me to help her with the co-parenting of her kids now I had a great excuse in the past 2 days but then طال مطيلة فخلتها I do want to
إيمان وايلة أكسيدنت اتنرابة ناشة ليعطي متبصل طاقة شكلي اتلا نسيانة بدنا كيسز الانجري لو وبيالباية قريمخ إن آتن ينكل بتت بيتا خزموخن يطانة اتلوخن بوقارة مخبرون المنيان التلفون 8 أربع شوا وشو 8 تري وشو 5 خا يعني توكن بيت injuryrights.com شمي إلى توني كالغراكس كي يمزمن لشان خلية يما
Welcome to Assyrian National Council of Illinois. Where we provide home care services for the elderly 60 years and older. For over 20 years, ANCI has worked closely with the state of Illinois to strengthen and expand our home care program. We currently service the Chicagoland area, including Cook, Kane, and DuPage counties. If you are interested in finding out more about our home care services, please visit us at our Chicago or Streamwood office.